Ways of looking. Sidelong glance is referred to as stolen look. Blank stare depicts boredom, and sparkling eyes are an attribute of those who have magnetic personalities. So, the way one looks at the other person also gives or expresses some sort of meaning, and it also tells about the situation. And blank stare depicts boredom. Sometimes when the person is trying to give a blank stare, maybe partial close eyes, trying to show boredom or disinterest on certain happenings. Sparkling eyes are an attribute of those who have magnetic personalities. So, sparkling eyes, it's a curiosity or an enthusiasm towards a particular person or a particular event that is taking place. So, it is being treated as magnetic personalities who have this quality of acceptance. Next comes glasses. Peering over glass depicts being judgmental or critical. And dark glasses are worn by those who conceal their genuine feelings. So, the sidelong glance is referred to as stolen look, and even with half opened eyes, trying to suspect things. So, this is part of a communication where the person is not happy with or doesn't trust the person who is on the other side. So, suspicion can be one of the factors as far as way of looking is concerned. And next is glasses. So, peering over glass depicts being judgmental or critical, and dark glasses are worn by those who conceal their genuine feelings. So, normally dark glasses are to cover something, the emotions one is trying to exhibit. So, to hide that, dark glasses are being worn, either it is black or of any other color. It's ultimate to conceal their genuine feelings. Next, the human hand is a restless organ. A limp hands show boredom. Nervous or jittery person shows restless hands. Clenched hands often show frustration, and clapping of hands show applause. So, as far as body language, even the hands play a major role, like waving the hands or shaking the hands expresses some sort of body language, and where a firm grip is being held. So, it is a clear indication of positive energy or positive vibration that the person is trying to pass it on to the other person, where the person has less force to do a handshake. So, hands are always in front of revealing the emotions and attitudes. Many body language gestures can be difficult to learn, but hand gestures can be practiced and rehearsed to point where you can have fairly good control over where your hands are and what they are doing. Scientific research shows that more nerve connections exist between the hands and the brain than between any other part of the body, and so the gestures and positions we take with our hands give powerful insights into our emotional state. Our hands are usually positioned in front of our body. Consequently, these signals are easy to pick up, and most of us have several trademark hand positions we continually use. Unconsciously, your hands reveal your attitude towards another person, place, or situation. Watch how your hands move spontaneously in greetings, farewells, and as you come to mutual agreement with someone else before you know it. Your hands illustrate a point you are making and are effective in demonstrating both one's sincerity as well as purpose. Whether you are expressing love, anger, joy, or frustration, the hands hold the message. So, how the hands talk? For thousands of years, the level of status people held in a society would determine the priority order in which they could hold the floor when speaking. More others would be compelled to stay silent while you speak. For example, Roman history shows that a low status person could be executed for interrupting Julius Caesar. Today, most people live in societies where freedom of speech in the abstract from reasonably well, if for no other reason than the proliferation of mobile phones and social media. Usually, anyone who wants to put forward an opinion can do so. In many countries, the hands have taken on the role of punctuation marks to regulate turn taking in physical conversation. A raised hands gesture has been borrowed from the Italians and French, who are the biggest users of hand talking. In Italy, the order of talking is simple. The person with his hands raised has the floor and does the talking. The listener will have his hands down or behind his back. So the trick is to try to get your hands in the air if you want to get a word in, and this can be done either by looking away and then raising them, or by touching the other person's arm to suppress their hand as you raise yours. Many people assume that when Italians talk, they are being friendly or intimate because they continually touch each other. But in fact, each other is attempting to restrict other hands and take the floor. Watching how a person summarizes a discussion giving both points of view can level or reveal whether they have a bias one way or another. They usually hold one hand up or one hand palm up and articulate each point and then give the opposing points on the other hand. Right-handed people reverse or reserve their favored point of view for the right, and the left-handers from that point of view. Using hand gestures grabs attention, increases the impact of communication, and helps individuals retain more of the information they are hearing. An analysis has found that most people, viral speakers, used an average of around 500 hand gestures, which is nearly twice as many as the least popular speakers used. Other research has found that the people who talk with their hands tend to be viewed as warm, agreeable, and energetic, while those who are less animated are seen as logical, cold, and analytical. Evaluating the relation or the retention of information in memory, researchers Geoffrey Battle and Nina McLoughlin at the University of Manchester conducted a study where volunteers listened to stories featuring cartoon characters. For some listeners, a narrator added hand gestures such as moving the hands up and down quickly to show running, a waving movement to demonstrate a hairdryer, and arms widespread to show a fat opera singer. When the listeners were tested 10 minutes later, those who had seen the hand gestures had had their higher response when recalling the details of the store, demonstrating the material effect thumb gestures at the maximum. Next, rubbing the palms. As part of the hands is concerned, rubbing the palms together is a way in which people communicate positive expectation. The dice thrower rubs the dice between his palms as a sign of his positive expectancy of winning. The master of ceremonies rubs his palms together and says to his audience, "We have been looking forward to hearing our next speaker," and the excited salesperson struts into the sales manager office, rubs his palms together and says excitedly, "We have just nailed down the Johnson contract." The waiter coming up to the table, "We have just nailed down the Johnson contract." The waiter coming to your table at the end of the evening, rubbing his arms together and asking, "Anything else, sir?" is non-verbally telling you that he expects a good tip. The speed at which A person rubs their palms together signals he thinks will receive the positive benefits. Say, for example, you want to buy a home and you visit an estate agent. After describing the property you want, the agent rubs his palms together quickly and says, I have just got the right house of your in the way. The agent has signaled that he expects the result to be your benefit. How you would feel if he rubbed his palms together very slowly as he told you that he had the ideal property? He would seem sneaky or devious, and you would get the feeling that he expected the result of. Salespersons are taught to use the palm rub gesture when describing products or services to prosecute buyers, services to prospective buyers, and to use rapid hand action to avoid to use rapid. When a customer quickly rubs his palms together and says, let us see what you have to offer, it signals that he is expecting to do something good and might buy.